Hello everyone! Happy Tuesday! It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, and I am super excited to share with you today these 3 quick and easy cards made using the brand new, just available today, Flowering Foils Designer Series paper. Now, this paper is, believe it or not, free with a $60 order here in Canada as part of the second release of Celebration. So you are going to be absolutely amazed at how gorgeous this paper is and the fact that it is free with a $60 order. So I'm going to show you, first of all, the paper, and then I'm also going to show you the bundle that we're going to use to create these projects. So this paper is so gorgeous that I actually made it sort of the focal point of all my cards and just kept the rest really simple. Hi, Deneen. Oh, you're on vacation. Lucky you. I wish I was on vacation. I could use a little sunshine right about now. It is gloomy and rainy here. Not a very nice day at all. But it's a beautiful day in my studio because we have this gorgeous new paper. So let me show you. I'm going to get these cards out of the way for a minute, and I'm going to bring in this beautiful DSP. So it is in, as I mentioned, the new second release of Celebration. So this just went live today. So if you don't have your hands on this brochure yet, shoot me a quick message and I will get one out to you. Or better yet, don't wait for the mail and check it out online on my website. But this new paper is found on the very first page. It's called Flowering Foils Specialty DSP. And it features 12 sheets. You get, there's 4 different designs. You get 3 of each. Now these are not double-sided, okay? So just to be clear, usually our designer series paper is double-sided. But because of the foiling on these, they couldn't double side them, right? You wouldn't get as nice a quality. Hi, Mary Jane. I will PM you. Yes, I will. I can't right now because I'm in the middle of a video, but as soon as I'm done, I certainly will. Okay, so Flowering Foils is here. It's on the first page when you open the cover of the new second release Celebration brochure, and let me bring in the paper. It is absolutely gorgeous. So first of all, this is pattern number 1. It's this gorgeous floral. All right. Now this features rose gold and silver foiling. Okay. It's not copper. It kind of looks copper, but it's actually rose gold. Now I'm hoping that that's a hint of things to come in the new annual catalog and that we're going to be getting some rose gold foil. But for now, it is in this paper. It's also in the Everything is Rosy product suite. So if you happen to still have some of that kicking around, you'll have some of that rose gold foil. So that is the first pattern. Second pattern are these cute, cute, cute little daisies. Again, featuring both the silver and the rose gold. Just so pretty. Hi, Gail. How are you? All right. And then we have a couple of non-floral. So people, I don't know about you, but as soon as I see a floral DSP, I think, okay, I've got enough flower DSP. I don't need any more. And then, of course, I'm wrong because it's so gorgeous I have to buy it. But this particular pack also has some great geometric shapes. So this one here is a really cool pattern. It could be floral, right? You could read those as little flowers, but it also is just a really cool geometric pattern. And then we have this great grid. Okay, so this is just rose gold. This is just silver. So these two just have the one shade of foil. The 2 floral ones have both the rose gold and the silver. Okay, so those are the 4 patterns. You get 3 of each sheet for a total of 12 in the pack, free with the $60 order. All right, now let me also show you the bundle that we're going to be using today, because as I said, this paper was so gorgeous, I had to just let the DSP do all the talking on my cards. So I decided to go with a sentiment-based bundle for my bundle this week, and I chose the So Sentimental bundle, and that is because this set of dies down here that are part of the bundle have become my go-to in this catalog. I love the scalloped rectangles, and I love these different label shapes. I'm going to show you them up close and personal, the real thing instead of the picture in the catalog. So here is the set of dies. So you get 6 different sizes that nest quite nicely of the scallop rectangles. And then you get 2 larger dies that are 2 larger label shapes that layer really, really nicely. And then 2 smaller ones that also layer really nicely. And like I said, this has quickly become my go-to set. Now, of course, we have the coordinating stamp set, and again, some great all-occasion sentiments, and these sentiments fit, they're designed to fit perfectly inside the various labels, okay? So like just fantastic dies. Love them. This one is a rectangle. Okay, so these are designed to work with these dies. So we're going to use those along with the paper today. Okay. All right, so let's get to our first project. We're going to start with this pretty one. Now, there are so many different ways to add color to this paper, like so many. So I'm going to show you a couple, and then if you follow along on my social media this week on my Facebook page or on my Instagram, you will see a whole lot of other samples using different coloring media that I use to add color to these, to the various patterns in this paper. All right, so we are going to start with this one, and I'm going to start by showing you how I added the color to my flowers on this one. So I've already gone ahead, just because I didn't want to make you watch me fussy cut. I went ahead and fussy cut some of the flowers out of the DSP. I cut the large ones out. I haven't cut this little corner piece out, so I will do that live and in person. But first, I'm going to show you how to add color. So I'm going to set the sample aside, and I'm starting with Calypso Coral ink, and I'm going to take my Calypso Coral sponge dauber, and I'm just going to ink up that dauber. I'm going to get rid of a little bit of the excess, and then I'm going to start in the center of one of the flowers. I'm going to lay down pretty intense color in the center, and then I'm gradually going to work out from the center. And it is amazing at the way the color just fades out naturally with really little effort. I don't have to do much. I'm just working in sort of a circular pattern here, fading out from the middle. Okay, so there's one flower, and then I'll do the same thing with the other. So start with intense color in the middle, and then work my way out using the dauber. When you're using sponge daubers, you always, or even just a regular Stampin' sponge, you always want to be working in a circular motion. That's the way you're going to get the most even spread and blend of ink. Okay, doing this dab, 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 up and down, you're not going to get great results. Okay, and that was it. Like, how quick and easy was that to color? Like, so easy. So on this little scrap, this is just a little corner bit that I just cut off of the corner that I'm going to use just on one little bit of my card here. I'm just going to add a little hint of color to the flower on that one, and that's it. So simple. So we're going to do the same thing with our leaves. I'm going to use soft seafoam ink, and I'm going to grab my soft seafoam dauber here, and same thing. So I'm going to pick up my ink, and here I'm just applying ink to the leaves. I'm not really worried about shading at all. I just want to add a little bit of green. You can layer it and add more color if you like. It's totally up to you, depending on how dark you want them. So just add a little hint. And the nice thing about having fussy cut these already, I don't have to worry about staying in the lines. Actually, you don't really have to worry about staying in the lines anyway when you're fussy cutting, because you're going to cut off all the parts that aren't in the lines. So we'll just finish up these last couple of leaves here. There we go, and done. Like, how quick and easy is that, eh? So pretty. And now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to add a little bit of green to the leaf, and these little buds here, I'm going to do them all in green as well. And again, I'm not going to worry about staying inside the lines because I'm going to cut this out in just a sec. Okay, done and done. So easy. All right, so I'm going to take this little guy. I'm just going to cut this one out because we're going to use this sort of tucked in the upper corner behind our label. So again, when you're fussy cutting, you want to take care to move your scissors, or not your scissors, your paper rather than your scissors. Keep your scissors still and move your paper as you're cutting. You'll get a better, smoother cut that way than if you are moving your scissors around a lot. The other must-have, obviously, when you're fussy cutting is a really nice, sharp, fine-bladed pair of scissors. If you're trying to fussy cut with, you know, like big honkin' household scissors, you're going to have a hard time. I find for a lot of people who hate fussy cutting, when they come to my classes and use a pair of our paper snips, suddenly they don't mind it anymore. It's not so bad. And the reason that they disliked it so much in the first place is because they were not using great scissors. So fussy cutting is sort of something that you avoid because you feel like you're not good at it. I would challenge you to pick up a new pair of paper snips and try it again, because I'm betting you will find that it's not nearly as bad as you thought it was. I can speak from personal experience. I never used to enjoy fussy cutting until I got myself a good pair of scissors. All right. so we've got that little bit cut out. That's going to be for the upper corner, and we're good to go. So I'm going to pull out of my kit here a die cut label. This is the largest label from these Stitch So Sweetly dies, and I'm going to use my basic gray ink with this beautiful sentiment, wishing you much happiness today and always. This could be for anything, right? It could be a birthday, it could be a wedding, could be a shower, could be an anniversary. There's so many options that sentiment works for. So I'm going to ink that up in my basic gray and just stamp it centered on my label. Just like that. I love the font in this stamp too. It's just so pretty. All right, now it's just a matter of assembly because we've done all the hard work. So here I have a piece of Petal Pink cardstock. It is cut to 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and it is embossed using the So Scripty 3D embossing folder. Okay, so you can see that subtle sort of script pattern that's embossed in the paper. And here I have one of our pearlized white doilies. These are from the annual catalog. They have a lovely sheen to them. I'm hoping the camera catches that sheen. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that just with a little bit of fast fuse onto the front of my card. I'm not really worried about trying to conceal my adhesive because it's going to get covered up when I put my flowers on. Okay, so it's going to go just about like that. Then, before I put my flowers on, I have some ribbon. So this is that gorgeous Petal Pink metallic edge ribbon, 1/4 inch wide, so super easy to work with, and ties like a dream, which you will see in a minute. So I'm going to put a glue dot on one end of my ribbon. I'm going to lay it across the front of my panel here and wrap that end around the back and just stick it in place. And then I'll trim off the roll. And we're going to add another glue dot. Come on. Glue dots don't want to stick when it's cold. All right, so there we go. Super simple. Now, before we do anything else, we're going to glue this onto our card base. So here I have a Petal Pink card base. It is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And you're going to probably wonder, and I've had people ask me this before, why I go tone on tone. So why am I using a Petal Pink card base with a Petal Pink card front? And that is simply because I like the inside of my cards. I'll show you the finished one, and I just realized my card opens differently, but that doesn't matter. I like the inside of my card to be clean. I don't want to see the embossed pattern. You could totally emboss the whole card front, like the front of the card base, and it would be fine. It's just a matter of personal preference for me. I like to have it clean on the inside. So I will always layer an embossed panel on a panel or a card base of the same color. Okay, that's just my own preference. Hi Karen, thank you so much. New South Wales, Australia. Well, I hope it'll be morning there, I think. I hope you had a good night and you have a great day ahead. Here we are just getting ready for dinner as I'm taking us through our projects. So I'm going to pop this onto the front of my card, and then we're going to add our beautiful flowers. All right, so now we're going to add our flowers with a few dimensionals, and I'm going to they're going to go on right about there, okay? But I'm going to pop them up because I love dimension. I love having that extra, to me, it adds so much more when you can add a little bit of dimension to your cards. So I'm just going to add a couple of minis here just on some of the leaves so that they don't catch. I'm going to put one more down here, I think. There we go. I'm waiting for my iPad to charge. I'm having a hard time seeing comments because my iPad died and I didn't discover it until I was just about to start my video. So it is plugged in. And every time I hit the power button, I keep getting, the red battery saying, leave me alone, I'm charging. So I have to wait. So if I'm missing your comments, it's not intentional. It is just because I can't see them. Oh, it just turned on. I just saw the apple. That's excellent. Good. We're making progress. All right. So then our stamped label is going to go just in that upper corner. But before I glue that on, I'm going to tuck this little guy just up here. I just want to see a little bit of it peeking out from behind the label there. Okay, that's just to balance it a little bit. So I'm going to add just a glue dot, and we're just going to have that peeking out at the top like that. Okay, and that's just going to balance the flowers. All right, so again, this is going to go on with some dimensionals as well, but I just want to take care not to put dimensionals over where it's going to overlap the flowers, because then it'll be double popped, right, and it won't lie flat. Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. in Australia. How is Wednesday looking? I hope it's looking good. I'm still trying to finish Tuesday right now. Tuesdays are always really, really crazy days for me because I have early morning band practice. So I am up at 5, out of the house by 6. I have rehearsals starting, and after I just said that, I should not talk and add adhesive at the same time because I just put a dimensional where I don't want one. This is not good. Let's get rid of it. There we go. We're going to put a bit of fast fuse there instead so that lies flat. As I was saying, Tuesdays are long days. Because I have early morning band practice. So, yeah, I'm going to stop talking and concentrate. All right, so we've got our dimensionals on there. No dimensional where it's going to overlap my flowers. And we're just going to pop that on right about there, just like that. Okay, next we're going to add a bow. So this is your bow tying lesson for this week. So thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. We're going to add some ribbon. We're going to take our ribbon. We're going to hold it between our index and middle fingers. Okay. I'm keeping it flat. I'm going to pinch with my index and thumb on each hand. Again, I'm making those loops, but I'm keeping them flat. All right. Taking my left loop, crossing it over the right, and bringing it around and through. And then we just adjust the size of our loops. And we're going to trim our tails, and we're going to have a cute little bow. And like I said, this ribbon is so fantastic to tie bows with because it just holds its shape, and it's not too wide, and it's easy, easy, easy. So we're going to trim our tails here. And then this is going to go on with a glue dot. So I'm going to press my knot into the glue dot and then just adhere that to my flowers like that. Okay, last touch is a little bit of bling because what's a card without some sparkle? So we are going to add just a couple of the champagne rhinestones. So I've got my take your pick here. I'm going to add one large one right there, and then we're going to add a couple of little bitty ones. We'll go one down here, and we'll do one just sort of up here. We'll do it up on this. No, I like it on this side. There we go. Done and done. So simple. So this paper, like I said, is so pretty that it is easy to let it do all of the work on your cards, right? I mean, there's not much to this card without the paper, and that's okay. It is totally all right. When you have gorgeous paper like this, it is totally fine to let the paper do all the heavy lifting on your card. All right, so let me just clean up my mess here, and we're going to move on to card number 2. So we'll get this out of the way, and we're going to move on to this one. Now this one I love. This to me is so springy. Hi Cheryl, thank you. I am loving this color combo for spring and for Easter. So I just thought, well, why not do a little bit of an ombre look here. So we're going to give this a go as soon as I grab my bin of goodies. It's behind me. I have to reach back. All right. So for this one, our color palette is this. So we're going to use Daffodil Delight, Coastal Cabana, and Highland Heather. All right. So beautiful, springy, bright, happy color palette for springtime. So my iPad just turned on, so I'm going to see if I can pull up my live so I can see your comments a little bit easier here. Here we go. Come on, wakey bakey. Let's go. Let's go. There I am. All right. Okay. We're good. All right. So to start, I have a piece of this gorgeous designer paper. So this is cut to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. All right. And we are going to do some sponging. So we're going to start with our lightest color. That would be the Daffodil Delight. And we're going to sponge about 1/3. Okay. Roughly 1/3. And there's cat hair in my ink pad. This weekend, while I was designing these projects, I had some very helpful kitties in the studio who seemed to need to be right on my desk with me as I was working. And they happen to be shedding like crazy right now in preparation for spring. And yeah, I've got cat hair in my ink pads. It's a lovely thing, let me tell you. All right, so I am just adding some nice rich color. So when you are trying to get add a nice intense color, you want to make sure that you are pressing firmly with your dauber. You're, again, sponging in a circular motion, and you want to keep re-inking, okay? So you want to get that nice intense yellow color. All right, isn't that pretty, just like that? Oh, love it. Okay, so that is the Daffodil Delight. Then we're going to pull in our Coastal Cabana. And to me, this is just like the Easter color. Like, it is just, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so I'm going to grab my dauber, and I'm going to come in with a Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to purposely overlap a little bit of that daffodil. And you're going to see that it turns the most lovely shade of green when I overlap the Coastal Cabana on the daffodils. So I'm actually getting a 4 shade color palette with only 3 shades of ink, which is kind of fun. So again, I am laying down lots of color. You see that beautiful intense green where it overlaps? I love it. It's almost a granny apple green. It's pretty close, actually. So we're just gonna finish sponging this guy, okay, with the Coastal, and then I'm gonna come in with my Highland Heather. So we'll get rid of that dauber, and we'll pull in the Highland Heather. And again, we're going to start, and we're going to ink this up, and we're going to overlap as well. This one doesn't blend into quite as nice a color. You just kind of get a more intense shade of sort of a darker blue with when the purple overlaps. It's not, I don't love it as much as the green that we get from the Coastal Cabana and the Daffodil, but it is still a pretty cool shade. So when you are doing this kind of look, you want to make sure that you are overlapping the different shades, right? So that you get a nice blend. You don't have really clear stripes happening, okay? But isn't that pretty? Oh, love it. So nice. Okay, we're going to keep the inks out because we're going to need them in a little bit. So what I did then, after I sponge, I am going to go and die cut. Now I've already got a piece that I've die cut ahead of time just because I don't want you to have to wait for me while I go over to my Big Shot. So sponged, okay, and then I die cut using the second largest scallop rectangle from the So Sweetly Stitched, or Stitched So Sweetly dies, okay? So I end up with something that looks like this. All right, so now to assemble our card, we're going to take a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. I like to use thick Whisper White for my card bases. I'm going to fold that in half along my score line. Hi Claire, how are you doing? And then I'm going to take and add a little bit of ribbon. So here I'm using some of the really pretty Daffodil Delight Ruched ribbon. This is part of the Birthday Bonanza Suite. I think it's on back order right now, or maybe it's even not orderable, or maybe it's back in stock. I haven't checked today. I haven't been on to check, so it may well be back. But I'm going to start, again, I'm going to add just a little glue dot and just adhere that to the back of my sponge piece, all right, and then trim that up. I want to take care that I don't buckle this. I'm not pulling it too tight. I'm just kind of letting it lay across there. Don't want to have too much tension on there or it won't glue flat. So we're just going to wrap that around, okay. Then we're going to go ahead and add some adhesive all the way around our frame here. And we're going to pop that onto the front of our card. So we're gonna just do right about there. Looks good. Okay, and if you're worried about this, you don't really need to be, but if you are concerned, you can pop a little glue dot just in behind there so that it doesn't flop around. Okay, next I have my die cut rectangle, and I'm gonna pop this up. Okay, so we're gonna add, and again, I'm running out of dimensionals here. I meant to grab some after last week and forgot. So we're just going to use up the edges, and then we'll switch to minis. I hope you use the edges of your dimensionals, all of you. Don't throw the edges of your dimensionals out. They're perfectly good adhesive, and they're great for adhering large layers like this because you don't have to peel off a whole bunch of little backings. All right, so I'm going to grab just a couple of minis to finish off here, and we're going to pop this onto the front of our card. So we'll get the backings off of these guys. Oh, peeled the whole mini off, never mind just the backing. And we're gonna pop this onto the front of our card. Hi Kathy, how are ya? How's that puppy of yours? We had a lovely chat through your window yesterday, Gracie and I. All right, so we're gonna pop this right on here, and we're going to work really hard to make sure that we line it up with our die cut opening, okay? Because we want it to look like it's just sort of popped right out of the card like that. Okay, can you see that? All right, now we're going to stamp our sentiment. So here I have another stitch scalloped rectangle. Try saying that 5 times fast. And this Your Friendship is a Blessing stamp. And I need to grab my gray ink again. Come here. I put it away and I shouldn't have. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp Your Friendship is a Blessing using that basic gray ink again. So we're just going to center that in our rectangle and hope that it is straight. Not bad, a little high, but we can live with that. Okay? All right, we'll get rid of that and we'll get rid of that. Now, before we put this onto our card, we need to make ourselves some daisies. So I love the daisy pattern on this. Thanks, Deb. I'm glad you like these. You're gonna love this paper. It is just so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I made my little daisy here. Okay, so this is using the medium daisy punch, but I really wanted the colors to coordinate with my background. So I'm gonna show you how I did that. So we're gonna start with our dauber, and we're gonna make 2 sort of little amoebas. So we're gonna do a little circle of yellow, and it needs to be fairly large. Okay, and we're gonna do another one down here. So there is my first layer. All right. Next, I'm gonna come in with my Coastal Cabana, and we're gonna kind of go around the center of that yellow. We're gonna overlap because we want to get a little bit of that green, because that green is so pretty when those colors overlap. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing down here. See what I mean by amoebas? They just kind of look like little blobs of color. So again, we're gonna just lay down that color around the yellow and make sure we overlap. I didn't overlap enough on this one. We're gonna just come in a little bit more. Okay, and then we're gonna go around, whoops, not with the Coastal Cabana. We're gonna bring in the Highland Heather. Oh yes, Kathy, you need this paper. You absolutely do, and you're gonna need multiple packs of it, because let me tell you, once you start with it, it is very hard to stop. Wait until you see the other projects I've come up with. Okay, I only have time for 3 today, but suffice to say, my Instagram feed will be filled with projects using this paper for the rest of the week. Okay, so now I'm coming around, overlapping my Coastal Cabana with some Highland Heather. So again, I'm just kind of creating that little blob, amoeba, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and now I'm going to come in with my daisy punch. I'm actually going to leave the Highland Heather ink out because I might want to touch up just a little bit. So I'm going to slide my paper in, and I'm going to center my punch over the little amoeba that I created. Now you're going to notice I've got too much Coastal Cabana here and not enough Highland Heather. We're going to rectify that in a minute. So again, same thing here. Here I've got a little bit more Highland Heather. Okay, and when you punch them out, you get this awesome 3-tone daisy. It kind of reminds me, you know, when they dye carnations and daisies in the grocery store, you go and you see these cool dyed flowers. That's what it kind of reminds me of. So I'm just going to come in now with my Highland Heather, and I'm going to add a little bit more to my one daisy that didn't have a lot of the purple showing. So I'm just going to come in and just add a little bit more purple. Okay, there are my 2 daisies. Super simple. Thank you, Diane. I'm glad you like those. All right, so now we're going to just layer these 2. All right, and it's going to give us a nice full daisy. So I'm going to put just a little bit of Tombow in the center of one. So I'll put just a little bit there. And then we're going to add our second one over top. And the nice thing about the Tombow is it gives you that just a couple seconds to adjust it so you get it properly centered. Okay, and then I want to give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to take that daisy that's on the top layer and my bone folder, and I'm just going to bend those petals a little bit. So I'm just kind of curling them. You want to be gentle because you don't want to do, you know, he loves me not, and pull out a petal. We want to make sure that we're gentle as we're doing that, but that gives you a really cute little daisy. Isn't that fun? All right. So this is going to get glued to that top left corner of our sentiment. So which corner did I say? Top left. So we're going to put a little bit of adhesive there, and we're just going to glue that right about there. Now I want to make sure that my center is still showing because we are going to add a little bit of bling because, well, you know, it's required. So here I have some of the, what are these called? These are called, I don't know, I cut them off. They're in the annual catalog. They are, I think they're faceted gems, clear faceted gems. And they are perfectly sized for daisy centers. Isn't that pretty? Just so, so fun. All right, so this is going to go on to the front of our card with, you guessed it, some more dimensionals, because why not? Except I don't have more dimensionals. You know what? I'm going to grab another sheet from my other desk here. And we're going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. And I'm going to put one in the center of my daisy just so that it doesn't flop around there. We want it to be secure. So we'll get rid of these. And we're going to pop this. Now I'm putting this down. So here's my rectangle. I'm putting it down in the lower right corner. Okay. Because I want my daisy to be on that popped rectangle as well. Okay. I'm not trying to center it. All right. And then the last touch again is to add a little bow. So you're getting a bonus bow tying lesson today. Okay, so I'm going to, again, pinch my ribbon between my thumb and my index finger to create 2 loops. Cross the left loop over the right, bring it through the hole, and pull. And there is my pretty little bow. Okay, so this one I want to be, oh, my bow twisted there. That doesn't usually happen. I want this to be a fairly small bow, so I'm going to make my loops pretty teeny. And then we're just going to trim off our ends. And we're going to add it just to the corner there, taking care not to cover up too much of our sentiment. Where'd my glue dots go? There they are. So again, we're going to press that knot into a glue dot. And I'm just going to angle this a little bit so I don't cover up my P completely. But there you go. Isn't that pretty? So, so easy. Like this paper, I mean, honestly, I cannot get enough of it. It is stunning. You guys are going to love, love, love this paper when you get your hands on it. Okay. So that is number 2. I'm going to clear some space here again. And we're going to move on to number 3. So remember how I said this is not just about flowers. So for those of us that need to make masculine cards, and I would like to think most of us have to make one eventually, I wanted to show you a really super quick and easy way to add color to this grid pattern to create a super simple but really, really wow masculine card. And again, it's all the paper doing the work. So I'm going to pull out my goodies here and get rid of this. And again, I have a piece of that grid patterns DSP. So this is the rose gold. Now I've cut this a little bit larger and you're going to see why in a minute. So this is 4 inches by 6. Okay. It's not going to stay this size. We're going to cut it down to put it on our card. But for this color treatment, it is easier to have a little bit to hold on to that is not going to get inky, okay? Because you will probably get inky fingers while you're doing this. So 4 by 6, all right? And here I have my Night of Navy ink pad, all right? So now this is like the easiest way ever to color this paper, but you have to not be scared, okay? I'm going to open up my Night of Navy ink pad. And I am going to go direct to paper. So I'm going to take my ink pad and I am going to first drag it across and then I'm going to pat it right on my paper. So don't worry, okay? It's going to get messy, but it's okay. So I'm going to start by just dragging it across. And this is a really cool faded look. If you like that look, you could just leave it at that. I think that's a really cool look. But I'm going to drag it across first. And you can see what I mean by having that just a little bit that's not going to get inky that I can hold on to and not end up with navy ink all over my fingers. I'm probably going to end up with it somewhere, but just so it's not too inky. All right, so this is a really quick and easy way to get lots of color onto your DSP without having to sit and sponge for half an hour. Okay, really, really fast. Of course, my ink pad just picked up all my dimensional backings that were laying on my work surface. And that's it, okay? Now, this is a really important step. You need to wipe off the excess ink. No brayer purchase needed. Nope, 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 not at all, Deb. So what I'm going to do now, before I pick it up, because there's a lot of ink on there, I'm going to take a paper towel and I am going to wipe off the excess. So again, I am just in a circular motion, just wiping down where I've applied the ink. And you're going to see not a lot comes off, but there is enough. Better on the paper towel than on your fingers, right? Okay, now I don't know if you can see there, but it's a little bit light there. So I'm just going to come back in and add just a little bit more along that bottom edge. Okay, and then again, I'm going to come in with my paper towel and wipe off the excess. This time I'll get more because I didn't let it dry as long. There we go. That's nice, even color, but so quick and easy, right? Like, look how beautiful that is. It's just stunning. All right, so now we need to cut this down, and see, I still got inky fingers, but not as bad as I would have if I had not left myself a little bit to hold on to. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this messy grid paper so we're not looking at the mess. And I'm going to get rid of my inky paper towel, and we're going to trim this down. So I've got my paper trimmer here, and if you have not yet checked out our new paper trimmer, you're missing out because this is a great trimmer. So I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4. So I had originally cut it to 4 by 6, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that down to 4 by 5 1/4 for my card front. Okay, if you want, you could always add ink to this as well and use it on the inside of your card, so don't throw that out. It is certainly a piece that you could use again later. Okay, all right, now finishing this card is a snap. We've done all the work. I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon. So this is this navy, it's sort of denim look. It's not actual denim, it's much softer. It's quite pliable, easy to tie. We're not actually going to tie a bow on this one. We're just going to add it as a little bit of a horizontal accent on our card. So I'm going to hopefully get this to stick. It's going to go on, I don't know, about 1 3/4, 2 inches up from the bottom. And we're going to trim that off the roll and add another glue dot and stick that down. Okay, now you do want to take care, this grid is not perfectly straight, right? So if you're using your grid lines on this to help you get things straight, you may find that things are a little cockeyed because they're not perfect. It's not a perfect grid. Okay, all right, so that is that. Now I'm ready to put that onto my card base. So this is a piece of pretty peacock cardstock. I've got things falling all over the place. It's cut to 4 1/4 by 11 inches, scored in the middle at 5 1/2. I'm going to fold in half along my score line. Hi, Leaf. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're good. Hi, Irene. Who else has joined us? Diane, thank you so much. I'm glad you like these. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue that onto the front of our card. So add a little bit of adhesive. And we'll just pop that down on the front of our card. Okay, I love this color combination of Pretty Peacock and Night of Navy for masculine cards. I just think it's a really nice, little bit unusual color combination for men, but I really like it. Okay, so now I have another label. Again, this is cut using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. And I'm going to pull out my Night of Navy ink pad again. And this time I'm going to stamp I Can't Thank You Enough. And this stamp is like made for this label. It fits so perfectly. And look at that. There's 2 more cat hairs in my ink pad. Oh. Okay. I don't know whose idea it was to get 2 white cats, but it wasn't mine. All right. So we're going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment right in the middle of our label. Don't get me wrong. I love them dearly. They are sweethearts, but my house has never been the same. White cat hair, top to bottom. All right, so now I have the largest label. So this is the largest, this is the second largest in the Stitch So Sweetly dies. This one's cut from Pretty Peacock. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue this just flat onto my label. So I'm gonna use a little bit of Tombow for that. And we're gonna pop this guy right on there. And just center that on there like that. Okay. And then this is going to go on to the front of our card with a couple of dimensionals. So I like to do kind of like that. And we're going to get rid of our backings and pop that on centered. So I'm centering the label across the ribbon and on the card itself. Okay, and then I have some copper leaves. So these are the leaf trinkets. These are in the annual catalog. They're copper. Remember how I said this is rose gold? But honestly, these are close enough that they work. Okay, they're not quite an exact match, but until we get some rose gold embellishments, these are a pretty good option. So I'm adding a glue dot to one of the 3 leaf trinkets. And I'm going to put one sort of up in that corner. And then I've got 2 of the single leaves. We're going to tuck them down in the lower corner. Make sure I get these right side up. I'll just kind of pop that in there like that. And there you go. Done and done. So simple. Again, the paper is doing all of the heavy lifting on this project. All right, so let me pull in the other two. All right, and this, like I said, this stuff is so awesome and so quick and easy to add color to. You do not have to spend hours and hours coloring. Now, I am going to post some other projects later this week that I did spend a lot of time coloring. So if you are someone who likes to color or who likes to play with different media, this paper is also for you. It doesn't have to be quick and easy, but it can be, which I love. All right, so those are our 3 projects. Now, before I let you go, I have to show you one more time and remind you that you have just 1 week left to take advantage of my Parisian Beauty online class. All right, so I showed these, I launched this last week, and I'm going to show you the projects real quick again. If you are interested in being part of this class, you need to place your order before March 10th, so that's a week from today, using this host code in my online store. Now, if you are local and you would like to pick up your order, you can email me your order directly and let me know that you would like to be part of the class, and I am happy to do that, okay? But let me show you the projects. You get 5 projects included in the class. So here is project number 1, really, really pretty. And on the inside, all right, project number 2, super pretty, has a really cute little leaf trinket there, or a key trinket there. Okay, and a bit of collage stamping on the inside. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Karen. I'm glad you like them. Here is card number 3, some more collage stamping, different color scheme. Okay, kept it really simple on the inside for that one. And then we have 2 fun fold cards. So this one is just your basic Z fold. It stands like that. So when it's standing up, you're going to see sort of some dimension there. Okay. And then finally, we have this awesome, little bit different take on an easel card. Okay, so your Eiffel Tower is going to stand like that. All right, so those are the 5 projects. So you get all of the cardstock and DSP and everything die cut and embossed that you need to make those 5 projects. You also will receive a step-by-step tutorial video and a PDF cutting guide that has all of your supply lists and all of your measurements in case you want to make more of these cards. So if you are someone who likes to try new things and who maybe can't get to one of my classes, this is a great option for you. Again, available only till March 10th, free with a $60 order, so you could get your brand new Flowering Foils DSP as your freebie during celebration and take advantage of this online class. All right, thanks everyone for joining me one more time. There's one last peek at our projects, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Make sure you stay tuned because I will have lots and lots of project ideas using this awesome paper for you this week. Okay, all right, everybody.